Breaking news, the Warriors have signed veteran Rodney McGruder to a deal just before NBA training camp start, and we are going to bring you all the latest information about the Warriors' recent signing. But before we get to it, go on ahead and subscribe for me. If the Warriors make a move, we're going to make a video. We want to make sure you're up to date on all the rumors and the news, everything Golden State Warriors, so hit that sub button. In a pretty shocking move, Rodney McGruder has signed a deal with the Warriors. I can honestly say I did not see this move coming, but it did happen just a little while ago. Actually, Shams of The Athletic did tweet out that the free agent forward Rodney McGruder did finalize a deal with the Golden State Warriors, and now he'll compete for a roster spot in Warriors camp. The Warriors already did sign Jerome Robinson to one of these deals back in July. It was more of an Exhibit 10, but that one made a little bit more sense to me, whereas you're signing Rodney McGruder, who is a veteran. He was drafted in 2013. He's about 32 years old now, and he's had a fine career in the NBA. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but I'm definitely intrigued to see what the Warriors are actually going to do with this move, because when you look at Rodney McGruder's stats, he averaged less than 6 points per game, about less than 3 rebounds per game. His field goal percentage is fine, as well as his three-point percentage. So he can obviously put up some numbers when you need him to. He previously was with the Detroit Pistons for the last 3 years, and there was about a 9-game stint earlier in March when the Pistons had some injuries. So he did play. He averaged about 11 points per game in those 9-game stints. He started for some of them, so he's still putting up some stuff. He's still a pretty average defender and can obviously do some things on offense, but I don't think this is going to be a monumental thing for the Warriors' depth chart. I think it definitely adds a body, but in terms of skill, I think you're kind of signing him more for the leadership perspective, in my opinion. But I want to know what you're thinking about this recent signing. Give me your one-word reaction to this signing. Rodney McGruder signing a deal just before training camp with the Warriors. I think mine is just shocking. It is just flat out shocking. No one was really talking about this in the rumors, and now it just popped out here on Monday morning about a week or two ahead of training camp. I'm not very good at numbers, and I don't really know what day it is, so I think we're close to training camp. I can feel it. But also, with Rodney McGruder, there have been some comments with some Warriors players on McGruder. If you guys remember, like I do, back in 2021, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green made some surprising comments about this player following their game with the Detroit Pistons. Klay Thompson was a sideline reporter during that, and he said, "This dude might be out of the league soon. He's probably mad about that. He's over here trying to start something like he's a good player. Get out of here." Mr. Thompson, he may now be your teammate. How you feeling? Because these might come back to bite you in the you-know-what. Now, I do think we can be mature about this, and we can be men, and we can get over what we said, but come on, guys. We just got rid of Jordan Poole. We sent him across the country, and now you're going to add another beef back into the locker room. Not saying this is as bad as what happened with Jordan Poole and Draymond Green, but the whole reasoning for getting rid of Jordan Poole was to just solidify all the drama that was in the locker room, and now you're going to bring in another player that has previously exchanged some words with not one, but two of your players. You got to think there's going to be a chip on his shoulder somewhere coming into this locker room. But if we can all be mature and be men, it wouldn't be a problem. But you got to get the drama off this roster. You just did it with Jordan Poole, and I think this is when it's going to solidify for the rest of the season. And now you're going to re-sign an older guy who's probably not going to take as much crap as a younger guy would, because also Draymond Green said something about him. When the blank did Rodney McGruder become a tough guy of the team? Huh? Too many tough guys in the league, but I know ain't nobody scared of no Rodney McGruder, excuse me. But Klay said it best. Little bit hard to say, but Draymond Green is a man of very spicy words, I shall say. Do you think the GM even remembered this? I mean, he has to, right? Because this is a crazy move to make to me and on this roster. I don't think that, once again, they're trying to start anything, and I definitely think that with what Draymond said and Klay said could definitely irk him a little bit, but that was 2 years ago. We're heading into a brand new season. We're all adults here. I think you guys can honestly move on, but you gotta realize what happened here. I don't blame him for signing it, because I guess if I'm putting my mentality as a GM, I'm just thinking of the business side, and I'm not actually thinking of whether or not they're best buddies and having picnics together. But if you said these comments on national television and it blew up on my Twitter, I know it blew up on yours, then you got to think this is going to add some baggage to the team. But you're the GM. You're just here to make the executive decisions. So I'm not going to be mad about it. Do you think was Magruder signing the right move? I want to hear from you. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to go with no. But once again, I don't make the executive decision, so I want to hear from you guys on whether or not you think this is right. We got a great new sponsor here on Warriors today. It's one of my new favorite apps to use. It's called Prize Picks. It's a daily fantasy sports app where all you have to do is pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. It's super easy to use, and if you don't make your picks at the start of the game, it's all good. Don't even sweat it. Take out your phone at halftime and select your picks for the upcoming half. For any game, this is where I immediately go. I head to Prize Picks, I make my top choices, and you can even select your picks before the NBA season even starts. So far, I did pick Klay Thompson to have less than 21.2 points per game, but Steph Curry to have more than 28.9 points per game, and Kevon Looney to rack up a little bit less than 9.1 boards per game. All you have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. The link and description are in the chat, and you can watch yourself make money in real time. And don't forget, take advantage of their discounts like Taco Tuesday and Flex Friday. Now, McGruder has spent some time with the Heat, the Clippers, and 76ers. Like I said, he's been in the league for quite a while. He's bounced back between G League and NBA, which isn't surprising. A lot of players have done that in their past, including Jordan Poole. And he knows his role as a spot-up shooter who keeps the ball moving. So I think they're truly just signing him for that veteran leadership. Even Isaiah Stewart with the Detroit Pistons said, that was my guy. That was my veteran, the guy I looked up to. So I know that he's related to some younger players, which the Warriors do have plenty of. So I think he is coming off a foot injury towards the end of last season. So if he gets hurt at all during this training camp or practices, and that contract's going out the window. So as long as he can stay healthy and he's really showing his leadership and he's making that amends with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, then I'm fine with it. I mean, it is what it is. You can't change it if he does end up on the Warriors roster because it's not guaranteed. He's going to still have to fight for his spot during training camp, and he's also going up against Jerome Robinson, like I said. So he's still got some competing to do. This isn't finalized, but there is a possibility it could be on the Warriors' final roster. But even at that position, there's already a pretty good depth at the guard. You got Steph Curry, of course, and Klay Thompson, McGruder's best friend. You got Chris Paul, which I sometimes forget about because he's still such an amazing sign in the offseason to me. And then Gary Payton II, which, of course, I think is a fan favorite of Golden State. I knew I fell in love with him when he came to Golden State. And then Corey Joseph. So they're pretty good in the backcourt, in my opinion. I definitely wasn't – oh, my gosh, it keeps going. This is what I mean. There's so many guys. It's Moses Moody now, too, and Rodney McGruder is all the way there at the bottom. I think that there's just going to be too many guards on this team, which, if that's even a thing, I was definitely expecting more of a front court move this offseason, but it is what it is. Even Anthony Slater, he works with Warriors. He's one of their insiders. An extra wing has become the camp priority for the Warriors. This is their front court. Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, Dario, I can never say his last name, so I'm not even going to try, Trace Jackson Davis, and Usman. I think I said that right? Thank you. Okay. And TJD has impressed since arriving and coming to the organization. There's a lot of young depth piece with this, but I don't think a guard was necessarily what the Warriors did need in the first place. But unfortunately, there is no signing of Dwight Howard or any big. Now, they did kind of address this a little bit, and I do think Dwight Howard kind of slanted him a little bit because he's a little upset that they didn't actually sign him. But I thought Howard was the best move moving forward. If you wanted to sign any veteran, you're not going to sign Dwight Howard. Little bit odd to me, which is why I think the McGruder signing is so shocking. But they ended up not going with Howard, and they said that they're going to add some more big-size depth later in the season, maybe towards trade deadline. So obviously Steve Kerr and the front office know a little bit more than I do, which I would hope so. So I do think Dwight Howard was the best option going forward, but in conclusion, you did not address your size and you did add a little bit more drama. So I'm not sure how this move is going to play out. Once again, we're not even sure if he's going to end up being on the final roster, but you could have had a veteran like Dwight Howard and checked off another box with his size, but instead you brought in like the ninth guard on your depth chart, and he's got some issues with some guys on your team. Not the best move in my opinion, but would you have signed Dwight? Type S for sign, type P for pass. You guys already know I would have signed him. Been a fan of him for a very long time, but I guess it wasn't Dwight Howard's turn in the gold and blue. So I want you guys to go on ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. We're going to be bringing you guys the most up-to-date information we possibly can, including if Rodney McGruder does end up making the final roster. Training camp is so soon, so go on ahead, hit that subscribe button for all things Warriors.